comic fans, welcome back to the Marvel and DC Comics. Today, we're diving into Absolute Superman number 2, written by Jason Aaron. Previously in Absolute Superman, we saw a fresh take on Kal-El's origin. Instead of Krypton's elite, he comes from a working-class family, the People of Steel. His father, Jor-El, was cast out for warning about Krypton's collapse, and his mother, Lura, was banned from the Science Academy as a child for questioning the system. Krypton was doomed from within, and when the mines erupted with deadly green lava, Jor-El, his father, knew the end was near. In the present, Kal-El is on Earth, secretly helping oppressed workers under the control of Lazarus Corps. But just as he fights back, he's captured by Lazarus forces, led by none other than Lois Lane. And the true mastermind? Brainiac, pulling the strings from the shadows. If you want to catch up on the full story before this episode, click the card in the top right corner. The issue begins 6 years ago in the Redlands of Krypton, where a young and bored Kal-El is attending school via video call. His teacher praises the student's assignments, but is puzzled by Kal's. He questions Kal, saying his story about the dangers faced by loggers in the glass forests of Urea is well written, but seems to lack any generative text. The teacher asks if Kal sourced it from the Cleric's Luminarium, which contains the entirety of Krypton's recorded knowledge. Kal, with his head down, admits that he wrote it himself. His teacher is surprised and asks to speak with Kal and his parents after class. The story then jumps to the present, picking up in Brazil where we left off in Absolute Superman number 1. Agent Lois Lane has handcuffed herself to Superman with special metal cuffs, using restraints that seem to weaken him. She aims her gun at him, demanding he kneel and submit to the authority of the Lazarus Corps. However, Superman simply lifts his arm to examine the cuffs, causing Lois to lose her balance. He tries to break free, but realizes he can't. His AI companion, Soul, warns him that he is weakened and vulnerable in this environment. Kal sarcastically asks if he should rip Lois's arm off to free himself. In response, Lois shoots him in the face, prompting Soul to assure Kal that he will deal with the cuffs. The suit then generates a strange lava-like energy around the handcuffs in an attempt to free him. Lois calls for backup, reporting that Superman's suit is reacting and crawling up her arm. Kal tells Soul not to harm her, but Soul warns him that she isn't the real threat. Lazarus soldiers have arrived, aiming their weapons at him. Despite being under attack, Superman refuses to harm Lois, emphasizing his unwavering commitment to protecting all lives. The Lazarus Corps opens fire, but Superman shields himself and Lois with his cape, which emerges from his suit in a mist-like form. This calls back to the classic portrayal of Superman using his cape for defense, a visual often associated with older comics and the Fleischer cartoons. Lois struggles against him, demanding to be released. Kal reminds her that she was the one who handcuffed them together in the first place. Meanwhile, Soul analyzes the cuffs, noting that the metal regenerates faster when damaged, making it difficult to remove. Lois continues her resistance, repeatedly shooting Superman in the face. He tells her to stop, explaining that she's making it difficult for him to save her life. She insists that Lazarus doesn't want him dead, just contained. Superman then instructs Soul to use the dust to restrain Lois without harming her. We learn that his cape is made of red dust that can be controlled through his suit, reminiscent of Spawn's cape in its ability to change shape and act as a shield. Superman leaps into the air with Lois still bound to him, prompting the Lazarus Corps to call in their Peacemaker units. The Peacemakers request permission to engage, and after approval, they fire chemical rounds at him under Brainiac's orders. The blasts hit his cape, but he and Lois land unharmed. However, she immediately shoots him in the face again. She then radios in their location, but Superman disrupts her transmission using solar power. Their ideological clash deepens as Lois insists Lazarus Corporation is acting justly, while Superman condemns their oppression. Interestingly, Lois describes his movement as a leap, suggesting that this version of Superman may not yet have the ability to fly. In the Golden Age, Superman could only jump great distances before later gaining flight abilities, so this may be a deliberate callback to his earliest portrayals. As they continue their tense conversation, Superman questions Lois's allegiance to Lazarus, arguing that the organization views people as nothing more than livestock. Lois counters by demanding to know what he truly is. Before he can answer, Lazarus troops begin firing at them again. Kal prioritizes protecting civilians, instructing them to take shelter. He even picks up a car and hurls it at a Lazarus flying tank, demonstrating his raw strength. The Sunstone cape extends to shield the villagers, while Lois observes Superman closely, deducing that he is both powerful and still learning about his abilities. She also starts suspecting that he is a lost child without a home. Slowly, her perception of him begins to shift. After helping the villagers, Superman thanks Lois for not interfering, and she responds warmly. Lois later documents her observations in an after-action report. She notes that Superman's strength isn't just from his advanced suit. He is inherently powerful. However, he appears to be discovering his abilities along the way, suggesting that he is still coming into his own. Despite his immense power, he remains a deeply earnest individual, incapable of deceit. She also observes a shift in his demeanor. Sometimes he is shy and soft-spoken, while other times he exudes confidence and authority. Interestingly, her private notes mention that Superman smells like oak barrels filled with aged burgundy stored in a musty basement. She finds his scent incredible. Later, Lois reports to Brainiac, who remains a shadowy figure communicating through a Clippy-like AI interface that distorts her words, making it seem like she advocates for Superman's execution. This manipulation forces Lois to question Lazarus's true motives and strengthens her commitment to truth. Meanwhile, on Krypton, Jor-El and Lara work on Soul, a design Lara originally created as a child. The suit was meant to be a spacesuit and spaceship combined, but it was only built for a child-sized occupant. This hints at the inevitable moment when they will have to send young Kal-El alone to safety. Jor-El plans to steal Sunstone to build a larger version, but Lara is skeptical about getting approval from the Kryptonian Council. The issue concludes with Superman arriving in Venezuela, while Lois finalizes her report. Tragically, the Peacemakers return to the village and begin slaughtering the people Superman just saved. As they carry out their brutal mission, they declare peace has a price. This positions them as a likely recurring antagonist, setting up a confrontation with Superman. What are your thoughts on this intense issue? Drop your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more epic content, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And remember, heroes are made by the paths they choose, not the powers they're born with.